In a distant IT forest, where screens glowed and the air smelled of over-caffeinated developers, stood a thriving IT village. Everywhere you looked, startup names were plastered on neon signs, and QR codes you'd never bother scanning. The atmosphere buzzed with ambition and ideas, and just a touch of existential dread. Here, 3 enthusiastic little pigs decided to launch their startups. Each one had a unique vision. One swore by the hottest trends, the second clung to legacy methods, and the third believed that bulletproof architecture was the secret to success. But, as always in the tech world, things weren't as easy as they seemed. The real enemy wasn't just competition. It was the load-testing wolf. The first little pig, the trend chaser. Cody sat hunched over his laptop, eyes wide with excitement as the latest, shiniest framework glowed on his screen. Behind him, a poster screamed, "Hype is everything." He was enthusiastically typing away, thrilled by the ease of building something cool, rather than worrying about things like scalability or, user retention. His app was, let's just say, flashy. Instant animations, buttons practically jumping off the screen, and a UX that screamed, "I'm expensive." People loved it. Well, until the load testing wolf showed up. A notification appeared. Load. 10 users. The wolf grinned. Let's see how this glittering thing holds up. And then, the server buckled under the pressure. Pretty buttons turned into broken promises, and users fled in horror. Cody realized, too late, that he hadn't read the documentation or, done any testing. Panicked, he bolted off to the next pig's place. The second little pig, the old school, Cube was in his cozy wooden hut, surrounded by towering stacks of PHP textbooks. His wall proudly proclaimed, "If it worked in 2005, it works now." He knew the ropes of trusty PHP 5 and SQL queries like the back of his hoof, and frankly, the whole modern tech thing was just a distraction. Why mess with fancy frameworks when you could keep it simple? His app looked, like it was from 2005. Fonts that could use a little more current century flair and interfaces that seemed to scream, your grandma's favorite website. But hey, it worked, right? Well, until users started asking why the site was slower than dial-up on a rainy day. "Why is it so slow?" they demanded. Cube proudly replied, "But it's reliable." Well, most of the time. Then, the wolf appeared. The sign now read, "Load. 100 users." The wolf howled and huffed, causing the entire site to grind to a halt. Cube, stubborn as ever, kept mumbling, "But it's reliable, right?" Right before everything crashed. With no pride left, he ran to Brick's place. The third little pig, the architect, Brick sat at his desk, surrounded by monitors displaying perfect code and containers spinning in Docker. On the wall, motivational posters read, "Deploy fast, break things later, and automated tests? Yes, please." Brick was no stranger to high standards. His architecture was all about scalability, stability, and basically flexing that he was a DevOps guru. His system? Microservices, Kubernetes, Docker, cloud infrastructure. He was ready to conquer the tech world. Every line of code was crafted like a fine Swiss watch. As users flooded the site, everything hummed along smoothly. The wolf, meanwhile, had one more trick up his sleeve. This time, his sign read, "Load. 1,000 users." He grinned evilly, expecting the site to buckle like the others. But no, Brick's architecture held firm. The wolf huffed and puffed but couldn't break it. "Impossible!" the wolf yelled, furiously pulling at his hair. Brick, with a satisfied smile, leaned back and said, "It's all thanks to solid architecture, load balancing, and some very well-written tests. You should try it sometime." Cody and Cube stared, slack-jawed. Brick had saved the day, and users? They were thrilled. Brick Startup was now a shining beacon in the IT forest, and they were all ready for the next big challenge. The 3 little pigs learned a valuable lesson. In the IT world, success isn't about jumping on the latest trend, nor clinging to the past with the hope that things will just work. The key to survival lies in choosing the right tech, understanding the current demands, and never forgetting to test your assumptions. As for the wolf, after his failure, he decided to enroll in a crash course on DevOps, figuring that maybe, just maybe, it could save him from future embarrassment. Moral: architecture is everything. Choose your technologies wisely. Liked the video? Give it a like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Leave a comment on which story to adapt next.